Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. I've got another exciting one for you guys today. I've just finished my work day, a 12-hour work day. Got in some nice trades, had a couple of calls with the team, sending some charts. And then towards the end of my day, I caught up with Trevor, a student of ours, and I'm very, very excited to share his journey with you guys, because I remember not too long ago, about a year ago, he contacted me looking to join WWA and starting to trade. And he was in a very desperate situation. You know, he has kids. He has 3 kids, and he got laid off from his job. You know, he was earning a good salary, 100,000 per year, but he got laid off due to COVID, and he was just embarking on his journey in trading. And I get a lot of people, you know, with a lot of ambition and grand claims, and they want to make trading a full-time career for themselves. And a lot of people underestimate how hard it really is. But Trevor, on the other hand, he was a very, very hardworking person, very ambitious, very organized, very systematic, and he implemented a lot of amazing things within his routine to become one of the people that I have admiration for within the community, because he has reached a point that 99% of traders will never reach, and that is he's reached 6 figures, multiple 6 figures in his trading account, and he's now obviously a full-time trader and living off his trading profits. When I initially met him, he was living in one place. Now he's moved out to Florida, and you'll see in the interview palm trees behind him in a new condo. So yeah, I think it's a very, very beautiful story to see his journey and the amount he has achieved in such a short amount of time, less than 1 year, to go from somebody who's, you know, very intermediate or beginner in his trading journey to then transition with us to go into FTMO, to get 3 FTMO accounts, and then from those 3 FTMO accounts to start obviously taking capital from the markets and actualizing that profit, and then those withdrawals he channeled into a live account, and now he is trading without FTMO. He's trading his live capital by himself, without the rules and contingencies of FTMO, trading his own capital, which is a multiple 6-figure account. And in this call we go into his journey, what kind of things he's been doing to be able to trade that large account, and how he's setting up his life, his goals moving forward. And yeah, it's a beautiful interview. I really enjoyed doing it, and Trevor, I enjoyed catching up with you, and I want to do another interview with you maybe a year from now to see if you achieved those goals you wanted to achieve in this interview that you mentioned. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop into the video. Hello ladies and gentlemen. So, okay, today I'm here with Trevor. As I mentioned in the introduction, he's been a student of mine since the beginning, since the early days. So he's seen it all. He's been with WWA throughout its entirety. He actually started with me just right before we launched our first bootcamp. So he's been with the whole evolution. He's seen my growth. He's seen the company's growth. He's seen student growth. And within himself, he's seen massive growth. And I'm really excited about today's video, Trevor, because I know you've changed a lot as a person. I really like the mindset you're in not too long ago about how you wanted to make trading work out for you, and how your mindset was. I remember you had a rough patch with multiple things, and instead of letting that knock you down, you really had a stellar mindset of, I want to make this work out. And 1 short year later, I think you're on your way to exactly where you want it to be. So I'm very excited to share your journey with the general public, but also with the students, because this tends to happen within the Discord, is that the people who do really, really well, and the people who, you know, open up large accounts, get FTMO, start to take big withdrawals, they kind of go silent, obviously, because they don't want to be distracted by the noise and a lot of things that are going on in the community. They want to go into monk mode per se. And I've seen you shaved your head, so you're in monk mode, and get on with your own stuff. So I want to bring it to the attention of the community of people like yourself who are doing big things, but maybe not on the face value of the community. They haven't seen you in maybe 4, 5, 6 months or something. So yeah, I want to pass it over to you. Before we even jump into what you've been up to recently, let's talk about your journey. First of all, your background, who you are, what you do or what you did, and then we can talk about your trading journey as well.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll start off with 24 years old. Started trading almost exactly about a year ago today. So I just jumped right into it. I actually was a salesperson. I was making 6 figures a year. Very comfortable with my life. You know, I was making decent money, supporting my family. I have 3 kids, and I'm obviously married. So I got into trading. It was funny because when COVID first hit, I got laid off. And I wasn't the type of person just to sit there and wait for my job to come back, wait for COVID to kind of die down. I actually just got into trading. One of my buddies from high school, who's my best friend today, actually talked to me about it, you know, wanted me to invest in like an algorithm thing. It seems all sketchy to me, but in the beginning, you know, I kind of started doing my own research. I was like, oh, look at all these guys, they have nice cars, nice this, nice that. I thought it was all fake in the beginning. But then I started to do my own research into it, look up YouTube videos, and just kind of, you know, just research it, kind of find out more about it. I started trading FTMO. Shortly after that, I passed
before you
3
even got into
challenges,
FTMO,
combined all them together.
you jumped into trading.
Yeah.
So you first of all were skeptical. You thought it was all of a scam. And then what made you transition to actually starting that? What was the deciding factor? Was it more?
It was just I saw it was challenging. Yeah, and so then I saw only like X amount of % of people only succeed, and that kind of like rang a bell. I was like, hey, you know, I've been the underdog my whole life. Let's try and go after this.
Nice. Okay.
So then I started buying courses, getting mentorships, you know, spending a lot of money, and I've been scammed. I've been given a half of a course, and then they disappeared on me. So I put in
you spent a lot in the short
hefty amount of double-digit figures.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me a significant amount, probably more than most people have spent on courses. And just because your training journey isn't the longest, it was really condensed. And you did what things people did in years, you did it in a couple of months. And I guess because, you know, you quarantine, laid off your job, you had no other alternative. You were used to a certain lifestyle of your, you know, 6-figure salary, and now you're back to square one. I know you have young kids, so it was really a survival mode kind of thing. Yeah, I remember.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. 100%. So then once I passed the 3 FTMO challenges, you know, I did my first month, got around, you know, made like 30 to 40 grand in a couple of days, quit my job, called my job, quit, told them I'm done, I'm gonna keep trading. But I think the biggest downfall I had was I wasn't, I didn't have the feeling of losing. You know, I didn't feel like I kept winning and winning. I don't know if it was beginner's luck or what it was, but I never had that feeling of actually losing in trading. And then after like 3 or 4 months of FTMO, you know, a couple of 6-figure transactions happened, and I started losing. And, you know, once in my mindset, you know, so I'm still only 3 or 4 or 5 months into trading. Once you start losing, it's like you think to yourself, what am I doing wrong? Is there something that I can change? And then I started trying to change things, and it didn't work out so well.
Let's rewind this. You took some big trades. Was that with correct risk management, with correct technique, with correct analysis, or was it literally just gambling, beginner's luck?
No, it was in the beginning. It was still, I had a strategy, so I followed my strategy, and I started winning. And then I met you and had my mentorship with you, and that even propelled me further along those next couple of months. But then, you know, you start doubting yourself when you start losing. But instead of worrying about, you know, one trade, you need to worry about a series of trades. So if I took 10 trades all the same way, you're bound to win. I mean, it's probabilities. They've done the science on it and everything. You're bound to win at least 2 or 3 of those trades. And I started switching up my strategy, thinking I was wrong about stuff, and it just kind of didn't fall apart. But when you start losing, you start, you know, trying to change things. And anyone that's starting to trade out there.
Why do you think that happened? Was it you're psychologically now you're seeing these big numbers, and it was fear of missing out, greed coming into it, or was it more so just pure immaturity? Like, yeah, you had a solid foundation, you had a good start, but you hadn't spent the 10,000 hours backtesting, you hadn't created a 1,000 trade journal, you hadn't done the foundational work that is necessary, or was it more so just self-doubt and self-belief?
It was more so I wasn't experienced. Even, you know, if I said, hey, I only been trading for a year, I made X amount of dollars, you guys would still laugh. People would still laugh. You say, wow, I've been trading for 5 years, I haven't got here. But it kind of all happened so quickly within a year that I wasn't experienced. I thought I was. You know, you think you know what the market's going to do, and it'll humble you quickly when you don't, you know, and I kind of learned that early on, and I'm kind of blessed to have learned that early on, because now I don't have to go through that anymore. I control my emotions. If I lose a couple of trades in a row, I'm closer to a win. So it's, you know, it's a huge mentality thing for me, and for some it's not, but getting over that hump of, you know, just being humble and sticking by your rules, sticking by your strategy is, you know, what I believe in 100%.
Okay, and as it stands, because I remember in the beginning of WWA, you were, we even had talks of let's have you come on board as an educator, because you were really excelling really fast, and within the community you were fairly active, and people were looking up to you definitely. And then it reached a point where, what happened to Trevor? Where's Trevor? And occasionally I'd see your Instagram, some big trade, or I'd see, you know, entries. I'd consider good entries. Like, yeah, he's still behind the scenes doing his thing. And then occasionally I'd see screenshots of floating profit and things like that. But in general, I think you actively decided from being a very active member in the community to taking a step back and focusing on yourself. And now I see you're in the spar every day, and I'm sure you've got your morning routine, your daily routines, and things in place. So what is new? What are you working on these days? And with the monk mode, let's say.
Yeah, so in the past 3 weeks, I've been doing 75 hard. So I actually have never like printed out a schedule or anything down. I was never really, I just kind of just go as you go, you know. But I've recently started to write everything down, have a certain schedule in place, and it's been helping me out a lot. You know, I wake up every morning for London. If I have
75 hard entails a bunch of things, including
so it's workout twice a day. One has to be outdoors, so it's 45 minutes each. Stick to a certain diet, no alcohol, no cheat meals. Read 10 pages of a book every day, and then a gallon of water a day.
Okay. And do you think that's had a direct implication on your trading, or is it more so for yourself, or is it for a trading benefit?
I think trading kind of resembles who you are as a person, and me being consistent with, and when I wake up and I'm consistent with my schedule every day, my trading has become more consistent. I've been posting on Instagram a lot more, just trying to show what's been happening since I've started being consistent with my daily life. Mm-hmm. And it's been working out really well.
I think this is an interesting topic, and maybe we can take the discussion a little bit to there. I hear this a lot in the industry of trading is 90% psychology. It's all about your mindset. It's all about your routines. It's all about your habits. It's all about these grand claims. And although I do believe it has a massive place, I just feel like it's critical at your stage or when you're at a certain level. And I think people do it backwards, where they begin with psychology and then try and figure out the technicals. And I'm an advocate of first figure out your foundational strategy, build your market experience, build your market IQ, backtest, have a journal. And then when you start to fine tune your trading plan, and then you implement morning routine, evening routine, and the habits, for example, 75 hard. What's your thoughts in general on psychology, and how has that changed throughout trading a smaller account to the larger accounts and then the FTMO? And now I think you've transitioned into just a live account through withdrawals. So as that journey's progressed, how has that changed your mindset and your psychology?
Yeah, so psychology is I mean, so for some people it's huge, for some people it's not. Some people are fearless and they'll put it in, set their stop loss in, set it, and forget about it. You know, for me, I like to monitor, I like to see what happens. Like this, you know, if you feel good and you see it, when you enter a trade and you see it go the way you want it to go. But psychology, I think you still have to have some market IQ, you know, because if you don't know anything about the markets, your psychology is totally there. You don't care, you're confident, your serotonin levels are high, whatever it may be. You still have to have a market IQ. I think it's percentage-wise, I think it's 70% psychology, 30% IQ. But you have to have, it's about experience. You know, you can, my advice is to find the right mentor. And like with WWA, believe it or not, I still talk to a lot of people. I talk to more people through WWA via Instagram and whatever than I do in real life, people in real life, which is kind of crazy to me. You know, it's within the community, I've met so many people
with the same goal and you resonate with
same goal. You have the same goal and you kind of discuss things because, you know, if you feel like you're like on the outside and like your friends or your buddies, you know, don't want to kind of share the same experiences as you, you can obviously reach out to some people in WWA who like to read books, who like to work out, like to exercise, like to trade. You know, it's just easy to, relate to somebody with trading. You know, like I live in the US here, you're in the UK, I've met people, in other countries that I still talk to on a daily basis, which is kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. But back to the trading part, it's like you have to conquer your mind first to be able to control yourself, because I feel like once you start winning and once you start losing, you start to change, the way you think. When you start winning, oh, I can't lose, I'm going to win the next trade, or when you start losing, what am I doing wrong? I need to fix something, when you really don't. Sometimes you're going to lose in the markets. It happens to everybody,
Fair enough. And in terms of your trading now, I haven't seen your charts in maybe 2-3 months. I've just seen the occasional entry, but in terms of analysis and the levels you've taken things to, I'm not too clued up of as it is now. I was aware how it was over the summer and things like that, but what are you now? Would you consider yourself more intraday based, or is it, do you have multiple strategies for multiple accounts, or you're a big swing trader, or is it in and out, secure your 5% and then done? Or what's your play in that front?
It's kind of a little bit of both, I'm super appreciative of obviously you and WWA. You guys give people the tools to work with. It's how you use the tools, and you can, like you said, you, Wally, and Alex, you guys all trade differently, but you guys have the same tools. You guys just use them a little bit differently. But the way I like to trade is I like to get in a swing position, and then from that swing position, if I have my point A to my point B, I'll do intraday till it gets to point B. So I'll maximize on my move from A to B, if that makes any sense.
Okay, so you have a position trade directional bias and from A to B, and along that way you will be trading intraday, but with that greater directional bias in mind.
Yeah. So if I'm in an EU buy on like, say it's a 4 hour zone, I refine it down to like to 1, 2, or 3, and I get in that buy, and it's up a couple hundred pips. Once it leaves that certain zone I have, I'll go intraday, like 1 through 5, 15, and then just keep trying to buy it from valid signals and then go from there. So it's and sometimes I need
on a few things. It's EU and GJ and GU, and I think that's it.
Yeah, so I used to trade a lot of pairs, look at a bunch of things at once. But the biggest thing for me was, especially with consistent schedule, was zone it down to one pair. Find one pair you like and watch every move. You shouldn't miss a move if you're on one pair. And then I added I was a big fan of EU, and then I added GJ in there because it moves a little bit quicker. But yeah, just only a handful of pairs you need to look at. Everyone wants to look at all these pairs all the time and try and not miss a move. I mean, it's going to happen. So
you found mastery in a few pairs, and you know them inside out. You know exactly what each day is trying to do. You have your trading hours, and that's beautiful.
Trading hours are in there, and then you have you know where it's coming from. You know where it came from. You know where you try and not assume where it wants to go, but you want to have a good idea where it wants to go, and then just kind of keep playing it by ear, keep monitoring. Yeah, react accordingly.
Fair enough. So what kind of goals do you have? Because I remember a year ago, and again, you weren't my first student, so I've had so many students come in with grand claims and just as motivated as you, just as ambitious as you, with the same statements that you were saying of, I want to change my life, I want to be a full-time trader, I want to do X, Y, Z. And you were the one of the few that actually went on and did it. And not only that, you did it in a very short amount of time. So when it comes to someone like you, I know when you make a statement or you set a goal, you're going to do your damn best to make sure it happens. So we're sitting in 2021. What kind of goals do you have for if we do another call in 1 year's time from now? I've already seen you've changed location, new house, palm trees in the back. So that's a massive upgrade. Where do you want to be in 1 year from now?
1 year from now, my biggest goal, even not with trading, it's like a family man, be there for my children, be there for my wife. But trading wise, my goal is to hit 1 million, man. This year I'm hoping to do it. I'm hoping to hit 1 million. And then, I'm at an apartment right now renting. So I want to hit the 1 million, and then I want to move across the street. It's condos. They're building condos right now, a 30-story high-rise building. I want to buy a nice condo. Move there,
so you're walking past that every day looking like,
I got a picture of it. I got a picture of it on my desktop background. So that's what I want to do, man. It's goals. It's always good to have goals and write them down, but don't lose sight of it. Even if, like with the daily schedule, I'm sure you have a daily schedule you like to do. I mean, sometimes you have to tweak it and accommodate, but just follow the daily schedule, be consistent with yourself, and your trading will follow.
Beautiful words, man. And I think people listening to this will definitely realize, okay, there's a saying or a notion that goes that your first million is the hardest, but going from 100 million to 101 million is inevitable. Reason being is because to make 1 million, you don't have to do certain things, or it's not about certain business, or it's not about, getting a good trade or anything like that. It's about the person you are, the habits you have, the mindset you've embodied, and then you are a person who can make 1 million. So when you've already made 100 million, it's inevitable you make another one. And I really see growth in you in that sense. And you had it from before of the mindset, the routine, the things you were doing, the thoughts you had, the way you dealt with trauma, the way you dealt with adversity, all of these things ingrained in you, and the way you dealt with these emotions was obviously inevitable that you would end up in this position, I think. And then moving forward, now you've implemented even more. I'm very confident that if you keep on doing, and like you said, doing your daily routine, doing the things you need to do on a daily basis, clocking in, doing the things you have to in 1 year, you should be in a better position. You should be trading a bigger account. You should be in a better routine. You should be in a better mindset. And I'm very, very honored to, have this kind of relationship with the student. And I don't even want to call you a student anymore because you're doing big things. You've done a lot of things outside of whatever we taught you. And you've definitely become an independent trader. And that was always the goal, to create independent traders, because now you're free to do exactly what you want. You're trading full time. You said you're a family man and you've got your goals. And I'm very excited to see what kind of things you achieve in the coming year. On a tangent to that, you initially started with FTMO, and then you reached 3 FTMO accounts. And then I got a message from you not too long ago of you leaving FTMO. So let's talk a little bit about that and where things have taken you now.
So I'm still kind of trade with FTMO sometimes, especially when I want to hedge. I'm not too sure if it wants to hit off a certain POI and go the opposite way. But personal account, I'm a 6-figure personal account. Um, it's not
Was that leverage from savings, or was that leverage from through FTMO?
Through FTMO. So it's I use Awanda as my main broker for my main personal account because I'm based in US. But like I said, I have big goals, and once I hit the million mark, I plan to. My wife's 100% Italian, and she has family in Italy, so I plan to buy a house out in Italy or something in Italy to get so I can get IC markets account so we can actually hedge properly, not have to work with FTMO as much. But for any US students out there, yeah, FTMO is probably a good way to go, hedging wise too. And then I take 30% out, which isn't bad at all. But once you get because like I said, if you have a $10,000 on a Wanda, leverage is 1 to 50, you can't really live off of that. Yeah. Once you have the 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, then it's easier to live off of, especially when you can't hedge. But yeah, that's the goal for me. As I have my personal account now with FTM a little bit, I'm trying to kind of steer away from that. I think
that's always the goal of a blueprint that we should have, or somebody coming into it. Is obviously start off with demo, build your skill set, become an analyst. Yep. Once you fast forward to proving to yourself you can trade a live account, you've had that back test, you have that journal to give you the confidence that I've seen this play out 100 times. Now in the live market, it's just 101. It's just another trade for me. And once you've had that rock of a foundation, you prove yourself on that demo account. Now let's approach an FTMO account, maybe a trial first. Once you get your first FTMO, then you get to 3 FTMOs, then you work on securing capital, which you were, and they do have their rule sets of can't hold over the weekend. So when it comes to big swing trades, unfortunately, you can't be capitalizing on that, but consistently taking profits from the market to inevitably exit FTMO. And that's the goal, to exit and take that capital with you to a personal account. So you've reached that milestone, which I know a lot of people in the community right now are striving for, and this call is going to get them so excited to see, okay, somebody's actually done it, and they're going to be very appreciative of seeing that reality, because then it makes it for them that, okay, if Trevor's done it, if I do the same things he was doing the same, having the same work ethic, and I know you have a stellar work ethic, that I can be in a similar position. And then when you have your own account, and then you have the freedom to trade as you want and trade with the risks you want, and everything in place with your own rules and own criteria. At this point, I think you've reached a stage where 99% of the industry will never. And I really think that's something to be proud of. And that's a testament to your work ethic and everything you've been doing behind the scenes. And I want to touch upon this. You have kids, you have a wife, you have a family, you have other commitments. I get that a lot or everywhere in any industry of, I'm busy, I have other commitments, I have kids, and they're always annoying me. How do I make it work?
Excuses. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. Like I said, when I was still working at my 9-to-5 job, I would have, I think our mentorships we did on the weekends sometimes, I don't remember, but I know I was waking up at 3 a.m. my time, or 2 a.m. my time to study, research, etc., mentorship, whatever it was. And then 7 o'clock, I started my other job. And they kind of started shifting as, once I got laid off, then, okay, now I can focus more on trading. So then once that took off, once I got laid off from my job, I never came back. So it's kind of like, you have kids, you have a wife, but you have to kind of risk and take that risk in life. Like I was waking up at 3 a.m. My days, sometimes I had to go entertain customers, et cetera, stay out till 9, 10 o'clock at night. That's what, a 14, 15 hour day. Sometimes you have to do when you want to get it done, when you want to be free, when you want to be your own boss and, enjoy this stuff back here, you have to do what others won't do. That's wake up early in the morning, and I'm sure there's a lot of 9-to-5 people that are in the community now. I mean, you can do it. Just wake up 2 hours earlier before you go to work, study the markets, go over the charts that you, Wally, Waqar, Wally, Alex always send, and just kind of keep studying. And then eventually you'll be able to break away from that 9-to-5. That's what I did. I mean, at the 9-to-5, I was making 6 figures. Anyone can be comfortable with that. But for me, I wasn't comfortable. So you have to, go out of your comfort zone, do stuff that you hate, and then you'll start to be able to enjoy stuff you like. So.
Awesome stuff. I mean, I'm just in admiration and just super happy because I really remember your voice and your situation not too long ago and the headspace you were in, and to now see the drastic change is phenomenal. And I think this is what it's all about. What kind of advice would you give to people in the community who are still finding their footing? Maybe they're newer students, they're really excited, they're really motivated, they see the potential, but they don't really know where to channel that energy. What kind of things would you say, this is where you need to start, and this is what had a critical implication on my journey, this is where you should focus your attention on? What kind of things were they?
Consistent schedule with your life. I mean, start focusing on your life. Get your, if you, one day you wake up at 3 a.m. for London, the next day you wake up at 10 o'clock. I mean, if you keep doing that, how are you going to be consistent with your trading? You need to be consistent. You need to wake up at the same time every single day, have your charts marked out, see what's going on in the charts. I mean, and don't worry about other things behind you. You have to just be consistent with your daily life, and say your trading hours are 3 a.m. to 10. Okay, if a trade's going to happen at 12, don't have the fear of missing out and get upset if it hits out of your time zone. So my biggest problem was I never had rules. I always wanted to trade, no matter if it was 7 o'clock at night, 3 in the morning. I wanted to trade. I wanted to be a master of trading. You need to be consistent, and you're going to miss trades. It's going to happen. How many times I've sat, marked out a chart, it's past my trading time, I'm just monitoring. Hits it, does what I thought, does exactly what I wanted to do. But you have to set a certain schedule, set certain times, and just be consistent with your everyday life. And you should be on the road to passing FTMO, getting your personal account, or doing whatever challenges you have with trading. You should be able to take care of that and live the life on your terms, not anybody else's.
Awesome stuff, man. This kind of things, man. It's like WWA is not even 1 year old. You're just about 1 year into your trading journey, and in the grand scheme of things, we are both in our infancy of what we have done and where we want to be. And I always say this, I'm an advocate of judging your progress on a longer time scale, not just 1 year, but look at your 5-year projection, because what thing worthwhile in life is achieved in a couple of months or even 1 year. So we are definitely in our infancy. You're definitely in your infancy. I see a huge amount of potential. And I think definitely there is a spot for you one day. If your schedule permits and that aligns with your goals, to have you on board with WWA as an educator, because you've done phenomenal things in a short amount of time, and your life experience, your own anecdotal experience, the things you've done in your trading, I think that's a very, very bulletproof, admirable thing to have achieved, and I think people would be excited by that. So yeah, I know I value your time for sure, and I think people have already taken a lot from this video. I don't want to delve too much into other things, because then I know people will just be in your DMs blowing up.
No, dude, I'm fine with it. If people want to message me on Instagram, Discord, wherever, I respond to mostly everybody. Since the boot camp has calmed down, I haven't got so many messages, but I know that boot camp's starting in March. I saw that. That's awesome. So I look forward to seeing some DMs, asking questions, because I know you tend to bring me up sometimes, and I really appreciate you doing that. Just they can reach out to me and get another, another voice. I can just prove it to them that I do it. Trust me, if I can do it, anyone else can do it. Anybody else can do it.
Do you consider yourself, because I know people will be also considering people make excuses, but do you consider yourself a particularly intelligent person, particularly analytical person, or do you have any specific skill sets that have helped you achieve the things you have, or do you have a strong work ethic and you had your routine and you did the things that you're supposed to do, kept yourself accountable, and 1 year later, these are the results?
But before trading, before everything, I was like the wild, wild west. I just run around, do whatever I had to do, whatever came in front of me. But with trading, I'm starting to, figure myself out more. I understand that no rules, no this, no that. You just figure it out as you go. But with trading, it's made me more of a very analytical. I like to analyze it a lot. And I'm very picky with my trading. Some stuff I look at it and I just don't like the way it looks. You'll build that edge on yourself and the way the market moves. And then, getting rid of FOMO. If you have the fear of missing out on getting in a trade or not being in it, if you really have FOMO, put in a 0.01 line, trade it. You'll be in the trade still, but it's not going to be, you're going to lose a couple cents, whatever it is. But just try and figure yourself out, stay consistent, and trading has made me way more consistent person. And it's when you start seeing results with consistency, it's like you'll keep doing the same thing over and over again, because you just feel so good about yourself. Hey, I'm finally consistent. I never used to be consistent at all. That was my biggest downfall, is I wake up different times, try and trade different times, and that's where my biggest downfall was. But then once I corrected those things, I started going up from there.
It's a very important point you made, and I think a takeaway point from this video is that consistency, because motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. You watch a video, they'll get you hyped up, and then you'll be good to go for that day. And the next day, obviously, when you're not a millionaire, you'll have your trough, and you really need to have systems in place, habits in place that will force you to show up, because that marginal gain, those private victories that we speak about, of doing those things behind closed doors that you need to do every day, 1% better every day over a long period of time, will lead to results exactly what you want. So I don't really believe in that motivation element, and it has to be from a foundation of habits, and the idea of doing the 75 hard is an awesome one, because that's only going to propel you to another level. Yeah, man. I'll wrap it up here for today. It was awesome chatting to you, Trevor. I guess people will catch you in Discord and catch you over Instagram, but I definitely want to do a review with you maybe in 6 months to 1 year, and I have a catch up and see what kind of exciting things you're up to.
We're good.
And the new things that are going on. But yeah, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure it was a great value to the rest of the community as well, and the people over on YouTube as well. But yeah, best of luck, bro. And yeah, catch you in the community Discord.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
Take care. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for checking out our video today. If you would like more information on the educational services we provide and the boot camps that we run, I'm going to leave a link below in the description where you can book in a free 30-minute discovery call with our student success manager, where he will first of all make sure you are right fit and you are eligible to join our education, and then also he will give you the full information of everything we offer and how to onboard and the whole process that is involved. Before you even consider joining WWA, I encourage and implore all of you to do your due diligence, especially within industry such as the Forex industry. Check our Instagram. We daily post our student trades of people and students doing 1 to 10, 1 to 20, 1 to 50, 1 to 100 risk reward trades on a daily basis. We also show on our Instagram feed students who have passed FTMO. We have these YouTube videos where we're bringing on students who have maybe become full-time traders, passed FTMO, reached six-figure accounts, or people who are still finding their consistency, but they speak about their journey with WWA. I also encourage you to check out our Trustpilot reviews. We are approaching 300 verified 5-star reviews where students are leaving paragraphs of their experience. We also have student testimonials on our Twitter, on our Pinterest, and also on our Facebook page. So get involved, learn more about WWA. Backtest our feed, backtest our trades, backtest our telegrams to see that if you cannot understand why we are taking certain trades, why we are taking certain entries, that means there is something you can learn from us. And again, I always say this, there's a lot of free material out on YouTube. There's a lot of concepts out there, and we will certainly teach you concepts, and we will certainly teach you our version of the concepts, our refinements and our application. But also, it's not just important to know concepts, it's also that application, and therefore building it into a strategy and being more holistic about it. So that's something we speak about in the boot camps, and that's something we like to provide. We also have initially our boot camps, which is to educate, and also we have our aftercare, which is the community Discord, where we are posting charts, we are posting our trades, we are posting our trade ideas, we are posting our back testing, we are posting trades we have taken, full case studies every time from the weekly time frame down to M1 with the exact entry and stop loss. Also, we host community calls on a fairly regular basis where we go over questions, we go over trades, and any doubts students have. We also have within our community at this point thousands of trades from students that have been student backtests. We have thousands of winning trades. We have hundreds of PDFs from educators. So there's a plethora of information to get involved with when you join the community. So I encourage you all to find out a little bit more about WWA, maybe reach out to a few students and get to know firsthand exactly what goes on. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you on a discovery call with our student success manager, which is linked below. See you soon.